Hi, my name is Clark Lee. I go by he, him pronouns, and I am here today with the amazing, wonderful Pigeon Pagonis. It is a pleasure to be speaking with you. I am so honored to have you participate in our Microsoft Pride 2021 Together We Can celebration. You have been instrumental in bringing more awareness to the I in LGBTQI plus through your informational videos that have gone viral on BuzzFeed, to creating art that centers intersex voices along with your amazing self on magazine covers, to being honored as an LGBT champion of change when President Obama was in office. You continually hold reign in the debates on sexuality and otherness. I'm so glad you are sharing your time with us so we can learn more about Uniting for Change to improve awareness about and for the intersex community. And I know that you are also looking to write a book as well, or in the process of writing a book. So you're adding more feathers in your cap. Again, it is an honor to have you here. So that we have a basic understanding, would you please share what being born intersex means and what it doesn't mean?
First of all, I just want to say thank you for bringing intersex awareness to your company. And also, let me say thank you just because you're a kindred spirit and it's been such a pleasure to meet you. To answer your question, I think most of us use this definition that comes from the United Nations website. They have an intersex page, and they have this great definition, and it basically boils down to people who are born with sex traits that can't be neatly categorized into a simple either or category of 100% male or 100%, I just tapped my table, or 100% female, whether that's reproductive hormones, sex traits, or secondary sex characteristics such as breasts or chest, or the way hair is distributed on the body or fat is distributed. Those are secondary sex characteristics. So any of those categorizations and more, there's more ways that you could be intersex. We are not disorders. We are not we don't have pathologies. We do not have syndromes. We are simply beautiful, healthy, wonderful, amazing human beings born too cute to be binary, meaning we are not 100% male and we are not 100% female, and that's A-okay. Statistically speaking, between 1 in 2,000 and 1 in, some say, a couple 100,000 of the human population worldwide, a child is born with developmental or with biological traits such as sex traits or secondary sex characteristics or hormones or reproductive organs that could potentially, depending on who sees their bodies or who evaluates them, that could potentially get that child labeled as intersex.
I'm glad you brought in the numbers because we are a very data-focused company. And, one of the big things that I've been a proponent of is allyship within the community that you're a part of, especially when the community encompasses so much intersectionality. It's common to hear about the erasure of the B, bi plus, and the T for transgender in the LGBTQIA plus community. I can only imagine it being an even greater challenge when bringing awareness about the I members of the community. How often is the intersex community just lumped in with the transgender community?
People are now starting to, I think, understand more that intersex is not the same thing as trans or transgender. And I think more and more people are starting to understand that biological sex is distinct and different than gender. There's a lot of intersex people, such as myself, who inhabit trans identities. I'm non-binary, which is I see it as under the umbrella of trans. So I identify as trans, non-binary for my gender. Trans because my gender today is different than what was assigned to me at birth, which is very complicated because I'm intersex, but let's just put a pin on that for now. But I'm non-binary today and I was assigned female at birth, but actually I'm intersex. So I see myself as trans and non-binary, and also that my biological sex is intersex. I don't believe that intersex and trans are these things that have to be kept completely separate, and that if you talk about them together, it's going to do a disservice. I see intersex justice, or the fight or the journey towards justice for intersex kids and intersex adults and people in general, as necessarily interwoven with the trans journey or the trans struggle for justice as well, for recognition, for acceptance, for access, for so many things, for the right to live freely.
So do you ever, is it ever okay to disclose that someone is intersex in the spirit of awareness, especially when, because, you don't come across someone who actually identifies as intersex very often. And we know within the community, you don't out someone without their permission. But because you don't run into someone that's intersex very often, there may be this inclination to call someone out as intersex. Is that okay? Or is that usually frowned upon?
I would say that even though I have a lot of pride, as I'm showing right here today in my hair, I have a lot of pride about being intersex and non-binary. I think it's out of necessity because I see it as a strategic position against the pathologization from the wider society at large and doctors. But if someone is intersex and knows and confides to you or tells the whole group of people at work, for instance, it's still not, I don't think, okay to go tell others without their permission, of course. If they say it's cool, then go right ahead, do that. But I would say we're not at the point right now where I think it's acceptable on a grand scale to just tell others that people are intersex. And I don't think it's a shame thing. It's more of a safety thing right now.
So can you share what resources you recommend people check out to learn more about being born intersex, the needs of the intersex community, and how to be an active ally?
Number one, www.interactadvocates.org. They are the only legal organization in the country dedicated solely to protecting the rights of intersex clients and people and families. A second great resource is interconnect.support. That's the website. It's not .com. And it's a support group for intersex people and parents of intersex people. And the third resource I would share is the Black-led and Brown-led activist organization called intersexjusticeproject.org with a bunch of great resources. And the last resource I'll say is a film you can watch, and it's free on YouTube, and it's free if you have a subscription to Prime. And it's called Intersections with an X, and you should check that out. It's one of the best documentaries on the topic ever made.
Thank you, Pigeon. On behalf of all of us here at Microsoft, we wish you a fantastic Pride and that you'll continue doing what you do, but hopefully now with more allies who are knowledgeable about the intersex community and ways to advocate for putting an end to unnecessary surgeries. Because by uniting for change, we'll get some more intersex stories, less surgeries.